Yes, okay. So, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Instahyre Roundtable. Today's conversation is about something fundamental, and it is the way how we hire, work, and build teams, and it's changing beneath the surface. So, the theme for today is exploring how to build a talent pipeline for the AI era. And we are seeing perfect resumes, never seen before interviews, faster hiring cycles, and at the same time, many leaders feel less confident about hiring outcomes. So, this conversation is meant to slow that down, take a step back, and think about what still works and what doesn't. And I'm really glad to have Shayan Mehta, who is the Senior Vice President and Head of Talent Acquisition from BNY, as a speaker today. I'm looking forward for his perspective. And hi, Shayan. Welcome to the Insta Roundtable.
Hey, hi, thank you, Sharbajit, and thanks for this opportunity. Glad to be here. Glad to, just have a good conversation for whatever next 30, 45 minutes about what holds in future for us, for talent professionals like us, in the ever-changing, landscape that's going on pretty fast, pretty nimble and agile. In my significant amount of time I have spent in talent acquisition and various facets of talent, I've never seen something like this happening,
Mm.
where recruiters are challenged to find out the best talent or the right talent, not because the resumes look bad, but because the resumes look too good at times. so, so it's a different kind
Well,
of environment and challenge, and glad to be here again. Thank you for that.
lovely, great chat. So let's start off to begin with. I would love to understand the person behind the role. So tell us a bit about your journey from your early years to becoming the talent leader which you are today. We had a little bit of discussion before the call. So yeah, over
Yeah.
to you.
Yeah, sure. I think we were discussing about childhood and about schooling and about all those things. I've
Yeah.
traveled across India, mostly in the east, but part of outside also because of my father's profession. So I never did
Mhm.
schooling in one place. I, I I I keep saying I studied in 12 schools in 12 years almost. So not that I went to one school every year, but it has happened such like that. I kept changing schools sometimes in 6 months, sometimes in 9 months, and then probably 2 years. But I've seen significant amount of changes in my life. Then I did my graduation from Kolkata, and then
Mm.
I did my mass comm, and here the things become a little tangential.
Mm.
I did my graduation in commerce. I
Okay.
wanted to become a CA, but I thought it was too tough for me, or I have to do too much studying. So I kind of dropped it in between. I'm a CA dropout, if you want to say. And
Mm.
then the finance always kind of excited me. And then I went in to do mass communication at the time when mass comm was not very well known.
Okay.
I thought I would change the world by becoming a journalist. So, as all Bengalis want to do at that time. So, but then I found out that making money is easier than changing the world.
Mhm.
So I went to the marketing communication side of consulting side of mass communication. I spent a significant amount of time in Bangalore,
Okay.
almost close to 10 years of the Bangalore that we know of earlier years when it was truly
Older guy.
green, truly
Yeah.
green, no traffic, pub. There were more pubs than human beings on the road.
Mhm.
That Bangalore, not the Bangalore of today. And but then I did this consulting thing for around 8.5 years, and then I kind of hit a plateau and
Mm.
decided to change track. So I went to do my MBA from ISB in Hyderabad,
Okay.
from where I kind of moved into HR and talent. This was around 12, 13 years back. And since then, I have worked across Amazon, Wipro, LTI, Mindtree, and now I'm at BNY, um, across talent acquisition, talent operations, talent product building, talent management.
Mhm.
Right now, my portfolio is about um, talent acquisition, pure play, and some part of product building for talent. I'm also building something on AI close to talent, which is for talent, AI for talent, not using AI to talent
Mm.
acquisition. I manage the engineering, product, and niche hiring, design, agile kind of hiring in BNY. I'm based out of Pune.
Okay.
So that's what it is. In terms of my family, I'm based out of Pune for a significant amount of years. I have a small daughter of 10 years old who speaks more AI than I do today. And my wife is also into the talent space. So If you come to my house someday, Sarvajit, and most welcome, you will only hear, if you hear calls happening, my daughter also kind of, will discuss and talk about, resource allocations and,
Acha.
delivery and targets in her own language, in her own word. So we are a very
Great.
talent embedded family that way, very, very pro talent people.
They're very talented. So. Yeah.
I don't know if it's
Okay.
talented or not, but yeah, we are close to that. Yeah.
Great. Okay. So, Shad, when you talk about hiring in the AI era, there's a lot of noise around tools and automation. But at a more basic level, what do you think we are getting wrong in how we frame this conversation today?
Yeah. So if you ask me that about what are we getting wrong about AI today in the sense,
Uh, uh-huh.
um, I think we are moving too fast and not asking ourselves that what is the fundamental problem we are trying to solve today through AI or through technology or through anything, right? And that is not a problem of today. That has always been the problem with talent management per se. That what should technology do for you? Let's face it, in any organization which is mature, which is has got some money to spend and has some budgets, talent is the last place where budget is spent when it comes to automation and technology, right? Well, it should be the other way around. It's the first place where you should be, spending more money in terms of it's like India's GDP, right? Health should be the first place where you should be spending amount of money, but is the last allocation that it gets, right? So talent and technology almost goes in similar way. We always had this problem that we have the technology in place, we have everything in place. Where do we spend it?
Yeah.
Rather, what problem I'm trying to solve, and that problem has shifted its goalpost significant amount of time as we have moved along. If I come back to today also to AI, uh, while everyone is saying, okay, I need to get into the AI bandwagon, see how we can use or leverage it to build talent acquisition or the talent ecosystem, the life cycle, starting from identifying a person to hiring a person to onboarding and then managing that resource, that people, building them, moving them up the value chain. We are trying to solve all these problems at once, but very few of us are actually going back and saying that at the upstream level, do we even know that what AI is capable of doing for us and what AI should not be doing for us? And hence, this entire anxiety of a lot of individuals saying that AI will replace me. Okay, AI cannot replace a human being. I'm fundamentally very strong and to certain extent rigid in my approach and thought process that AI cannot replace human beings. Okay, it can replace certain tasks which were anyways not supposed to be done by human beings.
Hmm.
So nothing is changing if AI is coming also, right? I mean, if we are
Yeah.
doing certain tasks today as talent professionals or talent acquisition professional recruiters, which AI or any machine or any technology can replace, then we were not supposed to even make or work on those tasks in the first place. And
Hmm.
hence it's replaceable, right? Things which are not replaceable and are not replaceable anyways, right? So we rather need to go back and say, this is where AI should sit, this is where AI should not be sitting or cannot sit, and then make that bifurcation first as an organization, as a function, and things will fall across. But I think we are skipping that step, and that's the problem, or that's, I would say, what's going wrong in terms of implementing AI in most organizations when it comes to talent acquisition.
Great. So I think many leaders have spoken to like feel the tension but struggle to name it. So we'll move on to the next part, which is at senior levels, like when you like building a talent pipeline is less about choices and more about trade-offs. So in your experience, what is the hardest trade-off that leaders are dealing with today, but they don't talk about that openly?
Yeah, again, the I have a little bit of tension with this word trade-off because
Mhm.
trade-offs can only happen when it's like, oh, okay, I want to do everything, but I need to prioritize what will work for me and deprioritize certain things. So trade-off is something one versus the other, not one with the other, right? Now,
Mhm.
when I'm going to higher senior level or any level, and today's the definition of seniority kind of changes. I'm not talking about seniority in terms of number of experience spent in a particular role or in an organization, or even the the kind of expertise you bring into the picture, right? For me, seniority is as good as saying someone who is coming from a early career prospect, just joining the industry, could also be senior in the role they're playing. Okay, so
Okay.
it's the talent that is senior, it's not the role that is senior. But even if I flip it and say in an industry, senior most means leadership, and hence I'm talking about leadership or executive hiring.
Hmm.
The trade-off there is never about choice versus speed, right? It's always about choice in the sense that do I have the right kind of
Sorry.
people managing the right kind of things and solving the right kind of problems. Very interesting conversation that's happening in our organization today across the board is that
Okay.
entire talent pipelining
Hmm.
should be not based upon the recs that are open today,
Hmm.
but the problems that I want talent to solve.
Acha.
So let's focus on the problem, the business problem. Let's not focus on the talent problem. It is never about talent, it's always about business. So we are trying to say that, hey, let's understand the business problem, and every talent acquisition professional and recruiter should be evolving to say, do I understand the problem that business is facing? And then go and search for the talent that will solve that problem that business is facing. Because let's face it, at the end of the day, why do we hire? We hire to solve something, right? We don't hire because we feel like hiring, right? We're hiring because we need to solve something. So if we have to solve the business, so we need to understand the business. Where AI can fit in is, can it help me understanding the problem that business is facing along with a hiring manager? Can it articulate that problem properly for me? Can it help me do the market intelligence in a faster way to find out that what kind of people are solving those problems, engage with them, attract them? And this is the piece where AI will never come in. They cannot engage and attract. They can give you tools to engage, but they
Hmm.
cannot go and attract. A human to human conversation and interpersonal one to one cannot happen through AI. I, as a candidate, will never want to talk to an AI agent, right?
Yeah.
As realistic as it could be, I will never want to talk to that person. I still want to talk to a recruiter who understands my talent. And that's where, AI stops or AI starts, right? So the bifurcation, even in leadership hiring, saying use AI for identifying business problems, then identifying the talent, mostly which are passive, who are not looking for a job today, who are sitting somewhere and solving problems day to day, so busy that they don't have the time to look for jobs. As a recruiter, and if I put a recruiter's lens, I need to use AI to identify internal business problems, identify talent through market intelligence for those people who are passively not, or not even actively looking for jobs, and leverage it for insights. That's about it. Then leave it to me to engage, enrich, and empower those candidates to come to me, and then again bring AI in that process for interviews, for scheduling, for all those administrative tasks. So
Hmm.
AI, in my opinion, it will sit at the top of the funnel for insights and problem identification, and at the bottom of the funnel to do the administrative job. In between that key identification of the right talent and matching it to the right problem is a recruiter's problem. And the recruiter has to do it today. That's how you, and so hence you don't need to be worried about whether I will lose my job tomorrow. You need to be more, confident that, if I can use AI properly, I will have my job tomorrow and I will evolve also.
Great. Okay. So in large distributed companies and organizations like yourself is a part of that, when teams genuinely try to improve how hiring works, something usually breaks. Right. So what you have seen, from what you have seen, what trends to change first? Culture, accountability, or clarity, and why do you think so?
No, I think what breaks is at the top of it and not at the middle of it. Something
Culture.
is already broken and you're trying to fix it through the process, right? What is
Mm-hmm.
broken today, and I'm not talking, I'm generalizing it. I'm sure some organizations do it, but I believe what is in general broken today in our practice or in our ecosystem of talent acquisition, to be specific, is that the ability to understand both from a business side of it and as a TA side of it. Again, to my previous point is that why do I hire? Why should I hire? Nobody's asking that question. If you ask someone, a recruiter question, why do you hire? Why do you recruiter? What is the purpose for me recruiter? 80% of time you will hear, I need to fill roles.
Mm.
I have a number, I have to deliver, I have to faster. I have to deliver faster, right? There's a TAT. In
Mm.
our jargon, there's a TAT. I have to, meet that TAT. I have to make a better TAT. I'm continuously running against time to fill
Mm.
roles. It's a fulfillment job, right? In most cases, it's become a fulfillment job. And that I believe is a completely broken way of looking at things.
Yeah.
At the top of it, right? It is if you can change it from a fulfillment job to a business growth job, and then growing business through talent, and talent is one extremely important pivot when it comes to business growth, then whatever you talk about broken in the operational part of it is not broken anymore.
Okay.
Because everything will fix by themselves, because your mindset will shift, your way of looking at things will shift, your operations will shift, your administrative session will shift, your volumes pipelining will become much more richer, your talent pipeline will be always engaged, day in day out, 24/7. It's like a tap off tap on kind of a thing. And hence that part, what we call as broken about culture, clarity, connectivity, will not happen if the upstream have answered those questions, that what do I do with this particular talent.
Okay.
And you will answer, if you answer that there, you don't need to answer it through the process and continuously churn it.
Great. So also I want to bring in one question from the community because it connects closely to what we're discussing. So basically, many leaders now know that expectations differ across career stages, but hiring systems often treat everyone the same. So how should leaders think about this without creating confusion or unfairness?
Are you talking about unfairness in terms of candidate selection, bias when it comes in terms of candidate selection?
Yes.
Yeah. So you must have heard about recency bias, right? Essentially, if whatever is happening to me recently, whatever I see or exposed to get recently, I get biased towards it, right? And there's a success bias to that also. If I'm being successful hiring one kind of talent, one kind of for similar kind of roles, I tend to go towards that and I hire for that, right? As leaders, as talent acquisition leaders, our responsibility is to remove those bias from a recruiter's mind or even a hiring manager's mind, right? That's because the roles are continuously changing. The roles are continuously evolving. Technology is extremely fast. Blink of an eye, you wake up in the morning, you see something new, right? And you are, if you don't let those two biases out of the window, then you are getting stuck and you are not agile and adaptive enough. So recruiting leaders need to showcase to hiring leaders or business leaders that adaptability and agility is the first step towards removing bias in candidate selection. I'll give you an example. Suppose I am hiring a solution architect or a Java engineer at a senior level who probably have done coding 15 years back, 20 years back, but is a people manager, wants to become is a director in a company. I want to also hire a director. Simple, very straightforward resume, right? My bias would tend me to go to LinkedIn or go to any job portal and search for those kind of people, right? That is the first thing as a recruiter I would do. That is the first thing my hiring manager would also want me to do, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, for one moment, if I step back and say, maybe the person or the role, the problem that I'm trying to solve today is not this kind of a person. Maybe they're successful people. I will get them, dimes and dozens in the market today, right? But if I remove that bias of supply bias, saying they're easy to find, comparatively easy to find, and if I start asking the question to myself, saying that, is this the right candidate for this person? Maybe it's not a people management that the business is looking for. Maybe it's something else the business is looking for, right? So hence, I need to go ahead and try to remove that bias from my mind, remove the bias from hiring manager's mind, and ask each other that, is this the right talent that I want? Is that the right pipeline I'm looking for? Will the person, which how many recruiters today ask, and I being one of them, will go and ask a business manager, what is a 3 to 5 years pathway for this particular role? We don't ask that question generally. Okay, because we believe as recruiters, our job ends at onboarding or maybe before that. And we forget about it, right? But there is the fundamental mistake which we are doing in an evolving world. If you want to, and I will say this in caps, underline, bold, italics, how much ever unpopular it might sound today, but if you want to evolve, sustain as a recruiter, and if you want to be successful as a recruiter in talent acquisition function, you need to go beyond onboarding.
Okay.
You need to start asking the right questions and be a part of that decision, saying, how does success look like for this particular role in 3 to 5 years?
Yeah.
Because if you can't do that, then what you will do, you will look at measured amount of attrition. you will still go back and opening another rec, you will still look for replacements, and you are not an efficient system. And then AI will replace you.
Mm.
So to become a better recruiter, a successful recruiter, a sustainable recruiter, to create a profession which is much more enriched for you over a period of 10 to 15 years, you need to start asking these questions today. You need to be a part of the decision making. We keep cribbing, complaining that, oh, they have all decided what kind of people they want and they're coming to me, which is fair. But then are we even doing things as recruiters or using technology as recruiters to change the mind shift internally for our clients or stakeholders saying, yes, it is important for me to be a part of the decision making to start with.
Yes.
Tell me what good looks like for you.
Mm.
And there, and as leaders, we need to encourage recruiters or our teams to kind of continuously do that and lead by example.
Yeah. I think much more upstream and finding out the business what they want rather than what can be a good fit. Maybe.
Yeah.
That is the
Yeah.
change. Okay, so I have one question from Zoe. So he asked, how can we ensure reliability in an evolving hiring landscape?
Yeah, thanks, Zoe, for the question. If you're talking about reliability in a hiring landscape, I think reliability has two parts to it, right? From a candidate's perspective and from business manager's perspective, right? Whom I'm working with closely, right? Or your client, if you're a external partner, then about your client, right? Or another recruiting function that you're talking about it. Reliability comes from only one thing, and that's not about talent acquisition. That's for everything. Reliability comes from performance, right? You perform, you become reliable. It's as simple as that. Now, the question is that how do you perform? You can perform in two ways. One is from a business perspective. One is you meet the numbers in the right amount of time and the right fixed time that is given to you. That's performance, how we generally look at from metrics perspective. Or you look at performance based on how good at talent you can bring in, right? What's the quality of? So it's either quality or quantity that we're looking for, right? In an evolving world where AI can probably manage quantity going forward in the next 3 to 4 years, and hence make you obsolete as a recruiter who can hire faster, because hiring time can be reduced by using technology, and as a recruiter, nothing to do with it. Then in that case, quality becomes more important in terms of reliability, right?
Okay.
So are you be able to provide, again, a very strong quality client, which will stay with the company for some time and which will start performing within 3 to 6 months? Then the business manager will say, hey, you know what? I got that talent that I wanted. I loved it. Can you get me more? And that's why reliability. Or you understand my business more, and hence you're reliable, right?
Yeah.
So that's where the reliability game changes completely, right? From a candidate's perspective, the reliability is that, hey, you did everything for me. I landed at the right place at the right time. I'm loving what I'm doing, and hence I'm reliable. So tomorrow, if I want another job shift, I will come and talk to you. So that reliability, or this reliability in both sides, internal or external, comes from only one thing: is can I become a career advisor to my business or mostly to a candidate. We talk about career coaching and all this coaching, and I want a career coach and I want a performance coach, etc. Right? I believe, again, might sound a little different and might sound out of the way. I believe there cannot be a better career coach for anyone compared to a good recruiter.
Yeah.
A good recruiter can be the best career coach for you. There's nobody else who can be. And if you have a good partner recruiter who has been with you and understands you, there can nobody enough to tell you and advise you how you should be building your career.
Great. Okay, so before we move forward, I want to bring in one question from the job seeker point of view. Okay, so we have a candidate question which is quite popular. When you assess candidates, how does poor judgment around boundaries look like, even when someone seems quite capable and driven?
Okay, that's an interesting question. Whoever has asked it, and it has got multiple layers to it, right? You're talking about poor judgment. So I will try to break it down as much as I can, right? So, do we do hiring 100% correct? Never. It's always 50%, right? 50% correct, 50% not correct, right? And I will bring and there's nothing wrong with it, because Roger Federer, if I'm a big tennis fan, I play tennis, so I keep bringing tennis analogies, not cricket. But Roger Federer once said in UCLA convocation, and this has been often quoted, but this seems apt here, that if he probably won 80% of his matches in his entire career, right? Simple statistics he was giving. And I asked through this question to the audience saying that, do you know how many percentage of points I have won in my lifetime? Okay. And somebody says 70%, somebody says 65%, 90%. He said, no, I have only won 54% of my points that I have won, entire points I have played in my lifetime, which essentially means if I have played 10,000 points, I have only won 5,400 points and I've lost 4,600 points, right? Which means you, even at the topmost level, as an elite level, you cannot be perfect and you're only 50% correct, right?
Hmm.
Perfection is about 50, about doing that 50% correct. That's about it. And I want to emphasize in that perfection means if you can do 50% correct at the right time, you can make a good hire. Okay. Now, the cost of a wrong or a bad hire is immense. From a candidate perspective, it's more because while on paper the candidate might seem amazing, but when they come into the picture, get selected, they might not be doing what they wanted to do, or their capabilities are not being leveraged properly, or it's a complete misfit. Okay. So to a candidate, my suggestion, not an advice, but a suggestion always is that please understand the role, culture, growth path of the organization first before you even say yes to getting into an interview.
Hmm.
Okay, early career I will not say here because in early career you are more experimenting, so you have the time. I'm talking about those people who are in the mid of their career or at a senior level career, 10 plus years and stuff, etc., where they're very serious about building the career and stabilizing it. Please don't just jump into an interview because the pay looks amazing, because the organization and the brand looks amazing. Okay, but please ask your recruiter these questions. What is the
Hmm.
growth path? What exactly I will do? How will my day look like? How is the culture of the company? Okay, read about it, research about it. There's enough in the market today to kind of research and understand. Talk to people on your network who have either worked in the organization or somebody they know have worked in the organization, and then make an informed choice about taking the next step in your career. Because today, gone are those days where you can switch jobs at will at a senior or mid
Hmm.
senior level, and you can get a job immediately in the market. It is not so-called an employee market anymore. It's not a candidate market anymore. It's not an employer's market also. It's a much more market at equilibrium today. It's like talking about trade deficits and negotiating, right? Where is your deficit?
Okay.
Where is my deficit, right? So to
Hmm.
candidates or job seekers, my single point of suggestion would be, please do your homework. Otherwise, there is a chance that you are getting into a wrong hire situation. So please be careful and cautious about it before you move ahead.
Lovely. Great. I think right now we are going to for the last stage, which is very popular, which is the rapid fire round. And this is like short answers, no thinking. So whatever comes to your mind first is perfect, right?
Okay, sure.
So
Yeah,
okay, like let's start. Okay,
yeah.
so first question: you are told that one ordinary day from your past will repeat forever. Which day do you want to hope it is not? Like which day you want do you hope it is not?
Oh, the day I went to campus and no candidates turned up.
Okay, great. So you're allowed to send one anonymous message to everyone in the world. What does it say?
What does it say? Anonymous message.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to
Uh,
everyone in the world.
yeah. So there's this terminology which we have coined internally called ambition. Okay.
Okay.
It is that it's humility with ambition. So essentially, it means that you can be ambitious,
Hmm.
but you can be humble and yet ambitious in life.
Great. Okay. You wake up tomorrow and realize you are famous for something, and what will it be? What is it?
Oh, the number one tennis player in the world, any day.
Okay. Okay. If you can read minds, but only for one day, whose mind do you check first?
My wife's.
Okay. You're allowed to break one rule in the world for a day and face no consequences. What rule do you break?
What rule do I break? I think we break rules every day. But to particular question, um, I don't know. I buy a house without paying for it.
Okay, great. you travel 20 years into the future. What's the first thing you check?
Um, have I become an agent or not?
You can add one button to human beings. What does it do? If you
Sorry,
can
can you
add one,
repeat that? I can add one button to a human being.
add, yeah.
Okay.
So what
The
does it
bu
do?
the button that makes human beings realize when they're talking stupid things.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much, Sharon, for being such a sport and generous with your time and thoughts. I think that was
Pleasure
a
is
great
mine.
discussion which we had. Thank you, everyone, who joined us live. We will see you again at the next roundtable. Thank you, Sharon, for coming in and sharing your thoughts. Hope you elaborate.
Yeah,
Any
pleasure
last
is
word for our
yeah.
folks? Yeah.
Pleasure is mine, and I think thanks for picking up this topic. And I think I've seen Instahyre doing a lot of things, and I'm sure people like you and platforms like you are at the forefront of doing technology, which sometimes we also miss out on because very internally focused. But I think that one thing that I would leave everyone, whoever is here, and I don't know what the profile of people. I'm assuming most of them are from the talent community. I think one of the things that we need to look for is if we really, as I said, if we really need to evolve and go beyond where we are today, we need to stop complaining about business, not stop complaining about candidates, stop complaining about the ecosystem, the technology, the infrastructure. I think we need to start asking ourselves that how can I become the best career partner for either my business or rather a
Mm.
business partner for my business and career partner for my candidate. And if I can do that, then how much ever AI and technology comes in today, I don't need to bother about it. I don't need to be anxious about it. My jobs and my roles are still intact for the next 15 years.
Great. Okay. Thank you so much, Sharon,
Thank
for
you so
joining
much.
in.
Thank you.
Take
Thank you.
care. Bye.